Yo, so what's going on, battle fuckers? It's Pone, and we're playing that Rambo. Hold the trigger, Pone. Go until you got arthritis, my brother. Oh, God. Oh, I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm having fun using some of these old classes. You guys remember when I set up those goofy classes before, like the Cowboy, Rambo, Assassin, the Terrorist? You remember those guys? Well, the one that I actually do on a routine basis, and not necessarily even for gameplay footage, but the one that I enjoy doing a lot is the Rambo class. And the reason for being is I think it makes shitty weapons better. I think some of the weapons like the M60 have a lot of recoil. They're very hard to be accurate with. So you might as well only use them in close quarter situations, and hip fire only. Now, what I'm about to tell you is going to go against what probably any other Battlefield player will tell you. Anytime that I use an LMG, you know, one of those big-ass 200-round LMGs, I almost always only hip fire. And the reason for being is because instantly when you bust around a corner, you cut out the, 1 second time for you to actually aim down sights. Thus, you're already firing, thus the enemy's already suppressed. So by the time it's all said and done, he's scared and intimidated because you're just coming at him right around the corner like a fucking banshee or something. And you just come right at him, dude. It's just like crazy. He's unsuspecting. He's like, yo, man, Mr. Guy, I'm eating my ravioli, and you come around the corner with an M60, man. What's your fucking deal, bro? And it's intimidating. So I love doing the Rambo class. It's my suggestion for you guys. If you've never used it, try it. I think the worst game I've ever had while doing this is like a 36-10. This one turned out being like a 55-5 or something. And I know it's Conquest Dom, but all the other gameplays where I've done this have actually been in Rush, and it's just as effective in a Rush map as it is in this. I've done it on Strike. I've done it on, Metro, Sane. So many different maps, and you'd think some of these maps that it would probably not be the wisest thing in the world, but when you know you only have a certain area, a certain limit that your weapon could be effective, you could do a lot better with it. Let me repeat, you could do a lot better. Like if you were knowingly running around on Caspian with a shotgun, you'd play differently than you would if you had an M16. You know the capabilities of your weapon, therefore you do play slightly different. You wouldn't put yourself in a long funnel area, would you? You wouldn't funnel right down a hallway. But again, like I said, the suppression makes a big factor. This is an LMG. It's meant to suppress the enemy. It's meant to scare and intimidate them. And that's what I like to do. I run at these guys, man. It's incredible. I want you to try it. Seriously, put on the M60, put on, extended mags or something, do something crazy with it. Whether it's you can get a gun up to 100 bullets, 200 bullets, whatever you do. You're going to have plenty enough ammo to do what you need to with what you have. And I'm now starting to stutter, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about our topic for today. I started thinking about this because Friday I'm going to go see Resident Evil, the new one. About that. I basically want to talk about games that I would like to see turned into movies. And if this turns out okay, if you guys really do support the video and like this idea and get involved in the comments, I'm going to flip that around and just spank it on the little bum, you know what I mean? Do one of those. And, toss up the opposite, the vice versa, the versa vice, and do game. So we have games that would be good in movies, and movies that would be good in games. And but today we're going to stick to games that would be cool turned into movies. Now they've been trying this for years. I mean, you've seen little titles come by like Blood Rain, and there have been movies that have been based off this. You remember the old school Mario Brothers? You remember that? Who was it? That was like Bob Hoskins and what's his name? Hooper, and I think it's his name. John Leguizamo, or I don't even know how to pronounce his name either, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You remember that? That used to be my movie when I was a kid. I think that came out in like 90 or something. It's been a little while, and that was badass at the day, but most of the time when they try to turn in, you find this a lot, and I think it's because we're so diehard and attached to certain things that we're not ready to understand and settle for a mediocre thing. Now, if they're going to take something that we love so much, like a video game, or even a comic book, and now looking at it, it might be a halfway decent movie, but knowing that it's trying to be what we want it to be, it's never going to stick up to it. We're going to rate it a little harsher because it's not what we expect out of it. I mean, if there was to be a Battlefield 3 video and it didn't live up to the expectations of Battlefield 3, guess what, Mr. Guy? I'm probably not going to like it. So instead of that movie, had I have had no experience with Battlefield 3 video game, I would have probably given the movie a 7, but after watching it and noticing that it didn't stay along the lines of my favorite game, I'd have probably given it a 5. You know what I mean? We're going to be a little more harsh about it. That's what happens when you read an incredible book and then they butcher it. Or, great comic books. They fucked up Ghost Rider, in my opinion. That's my favorite comic book character. I will slice and dice a bitch for ruining that. I was so upset, man. I don't know. I mean, some of these things have potential. Now, Another good flop. I thought all of the Resident Evil movies absolutely sucked fat ones. If you were any bit like me when you were growing up, you understood what some of these horror games did to you. I had nightmares of the boss in Doom with the fucking rocket hands that took like 75 rockets to die. You guys ever remember that shit? I used to have nightmares, like seriously had nightmares from video games as a kid. Resident Evil, Nemesis, Resident Evil 2 was a bitch, man. I used to have nightmares about that stuff, and for them to bring it in, give her like superpowers and shit, and Mila Jovovich, seriously, that flat-chested hoe. I'm sorry. I get crazy about this. See what I mean? I'm just so anal about some of the stuff, and you start to think about it. Except for Jill was pretty fine in that. Yeah, I'm saying, but I really want my games that they actually turn into movies to actually be watchable. I think they butchered the Resident Evil. I mean, for that being one of the best horror games, one of the original, I guess, pillars in the horror game community, thought that would be absolutely incredible, and they ruined it. Doom. What the fuck was that, bro? It's just, and Doom. Like, I would love to see them remake Doom and actually make it something fucking incredible. Put special effects in there, not just add the fucking little pinky guys and shit, but make it into something Doom. You could do something incredible with that, even 3D effects, special effects. But there are very few games that I think I would actually thoroughly enjoy that would be taken over from games over. One of which would probably be Halo. I have always loved the storyline. I've loved seeing things from like the Flood, Covenant. They have all the storyline they would need from all of the Halo games, and they can throw that into one movie, and it could turn out incredible. You have the story available with that. Another one that I would like to see. Now, this one may be a little bit unusual, but I figured if they were to do this, this would be kind of like a... I'm hard to explain. I would like to see this maybe even in a show, not necessarily a movie, but Amnesia. That had a great storyline. It got you involved. It got you built up on spookiness, and with special effects out there nowadays, that's why people cling to that game. Amnesia is spooky, and it's creepy, and it's, there's basically one guy. The one downfall, the one thing that I think would maybe not help that game out too much is you don't really have, like, one main villain. I mean, you know what I mean? He's not, like, present there. So like that original Amnesia thing, that would be an incredible scary thing. I think they're doing a new Silent Hill 3D now. So I think scary would be the smartest way to go. If you're going to take a video game, you should probably go for the scary ones and turn that into a giant masterpiece. Halo would be incredible to watch. Now, one that I'm curious about, and if they had enough momentum and enough ideas to make this happen, I would love to see a Portal movie. The concept behind that is so simple, but it was never thought of before. And if they were able to, bring in a unique bad guy, or even make it kind of like iRobot. You know what I'm talking about? You remember how that was, where like one master computer was running shit? Imagine like GLaDOS with her fucking humor and everything like that. That would turn to be an incredible movie. Oh my god, you would find me watching Portal in 3D. I swear to god, I'd have my glasses ready, because that would probably be some incredible shit, no lie. So with enough ideas and enough people backing it, I would love to see a Portal movie. And I know it sounds kind of weird, because half the game is you just using teleporters and trying to outthink it, but if you were actually able to bring in bad guys or give it a little bit more story, that would probably be a pretty badass, unique type movie. I mean, people are running out of ideas now, and then they keep stabbing at video games and stuff like this, but most of them are ruining the ideas behind the video games, like Resident Evil, for example. I've never really liked them. I want to watch them just to see if they get better, not because, I enjoyed the last one. So that's kind of where I stand with that. I'd love to be able to make another commentary around what movies I think would be good video games. But that's kind of where I stand. The 3 games that I would really love to see. I'd like to see them redo something like Doom. Amnesia, I thought, would be an incredible game, and they have all the potential right there. Halo, and possibly even a Portal game. So those are my suggestions. Get down in the comment box below. See if you guys can submit any. I'd love to be able to look down in there and be like, my god, hey, yo, this dude's got a point. That'd be pretty fucking badass. And that's just, I thought it was cool. I thought it'd be a fun little experiment and way for us to interact. So leave that down there. Let me know what you guys think. Remember to leave a rating and try out the Rambo class. Like I said, run around hipfire only with the M60. Give it a go, guys. I'm like dead serious. I know it sounds awkward. What do you mean don't aim down sights? And that's your natural instinct. And I know this is not something that somebody would normally recommend, but next time you're using an M60, just run around and hipfire. I swear to God, it'll change your life. It'll change your life. Remember to leave a rating, guys. Peace out. Get it?